What's up, everybody? It's yours truly, Fitz, finishing out this series of the best Pokemon for each league, Master League. Let's go over the Master League. Again, if you guys haven't seen the Great League, Best Pokemon, or Ultra League, my personal opinions, the Pokemon that I use to win plenty of battles, you can go back and watch those. They're on the channel, of course. But if you haven't seen any of those, basically the way we do this is I pick 3 Pokemon from each generation, and I give some notable mentions in there as well, but as a disclaimer, like I said in the last video, I'm not going to be able to go over all of them. That would literally take too much time. But Master League, you have to think very differently, and it goes a lot by max CP, because max CP goes over it's a stat in which shows you the total amount of stats a Pokemon has, basically. So as you can see, Dragonite, 263, 10 attack, you know, blah, blah, blah. You guys know what CP is. But that actually leads me into my very first choice for Generation 1, and it is Dragonite. Dragonite is better than Rayquaza. Yes, the reason why, the stats are good, obviously, that's no doubt. But the reason why is if you have a Dragon Breath, now hear me out, because I know this is a legacy moveset. If you have a Dragon Breath Dragonite with Outrage, you're going to be able to beat a Dragon Tail Outrage Rayquaza. Furthermore, if you have a Dragon Tail Dragon Claw Dragonite, you're going to beat Rayquaza. So this choice simply revolves around the legacy moves, and I have one. It is also better than Latios. I personally think so. I went up against 2 Latioses in my Dragonite that I maxed out with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. Almost killed both of those Latioses. I killed one of them and then about half the other one. So, but I know what you're thinking, Fitz City. What if I don't have Dragon Breath or Dragon Claw? You can still run Dragon Tail and Outrage and maybe make a second move Hurricane just to kind of throw your opponent off, just in case you're using Dragonite as like a 3rd slot Pokemon. If you have Dragon Breath, and Dragon Claw, you could run this Pokemon first in the 1st slot for your team. Otherwise, Dragon Tail Outrage could be the 2nd or 3rd slot for your team. So Dragonite is definitely a good choice. It's a very good Pokemon. The stats are incredible. So that leads me into my second choice, Mewtwo. Now, this is an interesting choice only because Mewtwo has already good stats, right? But it's the moves. It has a lot of 2-bar charge moves that charge up really fast. Now, some of these charge up faster than others. I didn't look at it on paper. I usually look at this stuff, so I apologize. But one thing I can tell you, Psycho Cut charges faster than Confusion, so you do want to run Psycho Cut. And then, if I had to take a guess, if you had Shadow Ball, definitely use it. That is a good staple as a hard-hitting move. You want to run Shadow Ball if you can. But other than that, kind of think about what are some of the most common Master League Pokemon in the first place. Kyogre is very widely used, so Thunderbolt would probably be average. Focus Blast, no, you don't want to use Focus Blast as your fighting move to cover Tyranitar. Your best bet would be Ice Beam. So if you can, and if you're going to run 2 moves on your Mewtwo for your Mewtwo team, Psycho Cut, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam. Flamethrower, not really that much of use, maybe against Articuno, which is actually going to be the next Pokemon to go over. Articuno cover, but Thunderbolt does that too. See what I'm saying? So Psycho Cut, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, those 2 moves should charge up pretty fast, especially with Psycho Cut. But if you do want to run Shadow Ball, substitute whichever one of these you think you want to use. And since I already spoiled it, the next one is Articuno, and I actually did play with this a little bit. It's quite amazing how well Articuno actually works. It's because it has a high defense and has a pretty good stamina. It's the moves. Articuno has one of the best ice moves for PvP. That has Icy Wind. Icy Wind is a 3-bar charge move doing 60 damage. It's pretty good. And that covers the dragon types, flying types like Lugia, grass types, and ground types like Groudon. So Icy Wind charges up extremely fast. Frost Breath is a pretty good quick move. Doesn't charge up too quickly, the charge moves, but Icy Wind itself charges up pretty fast, making Articuno the 3rd slot. Now, some notable mentions, I might as well go ahead and go over some. Mew's interesting, because it can have a buttload of moves, but you're going to have to spend a lot of TMs to kind of get what you want and experiment with what you want. So, I will definitely give Mew a notable mention because it's a wild card. Definitely is a wild card. Snorlax with Lick and Body Slam is definitely a good Pokemon to use. You can run Alakazam with Dazzling Gleam and Shadow Ball. That's not too bad, but remember, Alakazam's kind of squishy. Machamp is always a good choice. but Lugia is a very common Pokemon to use, and I'm actually going to mention that here pretty soon. Machamp, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful. A lot of other Pokemon don't really fit the bill. Their stats just aren't good enough. You could run a Scizor. Where is it? I can't even find it. Oh, this is Gen 1. Jesus. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it with Gen 1. Although, I use Arcanine in the Ultra League, but you could probably use Arcanine in the Great League as well, giving it Snarl, Wild Charge, and Flamethrower if you have a Legacy one. Bulldoze is great as well, but run Snarl because it's a different move. Fire Fang. Fire is pretty easy to counter as far as not taking very effective damage. You can go Snarl, Wild Charge, Crunch, or Snarl, Flamethrower, Bulldoze, or both. Oh, you can't do both of those, duh. But yeah, that's just kind of a normal mention. You could play around with Arcanine, but it's not the greatest choice. The top three that I mentioned, definitely though. Okay, moving on further, Lugia. Oh my gosh, Lugia has a great stat typing already. Psychic and Flying, absolutely. 310 defense is insane because tankiness does make a difference, but its moves are out of this world. Dragon Tail will build up more energy per second and do super effective damage to those dragons, which are very commonly used. So I'd run Dragon Tail no matter what. Sky Attack and Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump gets rid of Groudons or Tyrannitars to do heavy damage. Sky Attack charges up really fast and does 90 damage, 80 damage per hit, which isn't bad, but it charges up really fast with Dragon Tail, so very good moveset, very good Pokemon. I have one maxed out. It does come in handy. Sometimes it's hard to beat a Tyranitar without Hydro Pump, but I'm giving you guys the ideal movesets, assuming that we're going to use 2 moves because that is the ideal way to go anyway. I know a lot of us don't have the kind of resources to unlock a second move, but I'm just telling you what moves you want to run for that maximum efficiency in PvP. So you'll never run this Pokemon as a Psychic Pokemon, just keep that in mind. Going back to Gen 2, you could say T-Tar is a notable mention. If you want to run Bite and Crunch with Fire Blast, I'm not going to put it on the list. Entei, Raikou, Scizor. Scizor is actually really good. It's because of its moves. Its stats, we already know that its stats are pretty good. It's not bad. High attack stat, you want to run Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter is one of the quickest energy gaining moves, energy per turn moves in the game. Then X Scissor charges up extremely fast, goes up against the dark. Ooh, and it does normal damage to rock. So there you go. There's a T-Tar counter. There's a Lugia counter. Sort of, right? But that's where the Night Slash actually comes in on the Lugia counter. Bingo! So there you go. X Scissor, Night Slash with Fury Cutter. You're good to go with your Scizor. Now the third Pokemon. See, there's not very many Gen 2 Pokemon that I really delve into because these Pokemon, they don't have any type coverages at all. Entei's straight up fire moves. Raikou is straight up electric moves. You know, so there's not really that much coverage. But notable mention, Blissey. Blissey's actually pretty good with Zen Headbutt and Dazzling Gleam. I don't think it has really any other good move than that. I will say for Alligator with Hydro Cannon actually might be pretty good. Coming up, I'm not going to recommend it right now, but I will just say at least a notable mention. You want to run, I think Water Gun is a legacy move, so if you have Water Gun for Alligator, there you go. But I would run Bite, Crunch, and Hydro Cannon for Alligator. Bite, Crunch, and Hydro Cannon. But this is actually going to be my third choice because Suicune is a very tanky Pokemon. It got a very good buff with the move stats. I'm very excited. And you want to run Snarl, because it builds up energy faster than Extra Sensory, Bubble Beam, and probably Hydro Pump. Bubble Beam charges up extremely fast, so you'll be able to get it off. But if you have this Pokemon in the second or third slot where your enemy does not have shields anymore, and you are able to get off a Hydro Pump, you have it there. You know what I'm saying? You're able to do that very large damaging move, especially if you have a shield as well. So you could use a shield and try to get that Hydro Pump off. You're going to deal a lot of damage with that Hydro Pump. So just kind of have it there as a backup because you don't want Water Pulse. You're already firing up those water beam or bubble beams, water beams, bubble beams. So there you have it, Bubble Beam, Hydro Pump, Snarl. That actually is an interesting combination for a Pokemon that's pretty tanky. So let's go ahead and go into Gen 3, trucking right along. Videos right at 10 minutes. Kind of pay attention to that, but hey, these videos, they have a lot of value. Kyogre, no. Not very, it's a powerful Pokemon. Groudon's a powerful Pokemon, but they only have access to 1 bar charge moves. They'd be good to throw in a 3rd slot, but I don't really recommend them. I really don't. Rayquaza, I don't. Latios, absolutely. You guys already know why. The stats are great, right? The stats are great. It's great. It's great. Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw. It's one of the best PvP movesets in the entire game. Plain and simple. Like, it'd be dumb if I did not mention Latios. And for a second move, run Solar Beam. In case somebody throws a Kyogre at you. They don't have any shields. You're Dragon Breathing away, Solar Beam, you're dead. So, pretty simple choice, to be honest. Pretty easy one to make. I didn't realize the Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw trick, especially the Dragon Claw trick, until I tried it out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Let's see, Metagross. Metagross, this is kind of obvious. This is a notable mention. It'd be Bullet Punch with Meteor Mash. Very good moves. Metagross has a lot of coverage as far as what's attacking it, so it's pretty good. Salamence is okay because it can have Fire moveset. Regice. I believe Regice has Icy Wind. We know how tanky Regice is, right? Does it have Icy Wind? No. Ooh. Okay, so not a notable mention at all. Wow. See, this is where things get interesting. You guys are probably like, Fitz City, not Groudon, not Rayquaza, not Kyogre. Well, wait a minute. Rayquaza? You can run Rayquaza? This will be the 2nd slot Pokemon. But you don't want to go up against a Latios or Dragonite. But if you run Aerial Ace, and Ancient Power. Ancient Power is going to, that's going to combat already another Rayquaza, a Lugia, any flying type that you could run across, like Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno. That does 4 times damage. This charges up extremely fast. Extremely fast. So, I would run Aerial Ace, Ancient Power, Dragon Tail. So actually, Rayquaza is a good choice. Just not as a Dragon Pokemon. Pretty strange, right? Of course, Dragon Tail, like I said, will do super effective to Dragon. But Ancient Power, there you go. So, throwing out this Pokemon against a Latios wouldn't be a good idea. But against a Dragonite, you could scathe by. You could scathe by. You better make sure you use some shields. Because those Dragon Claws that Dragonite's going to do is going to be doing a lot of damage. But these Ancient Powers are going to be as well. So that actually is going to come into the 2nd spot. I forgot about those moves. So definitely got to remember that. The next one, Aragorn, notable mention, run Dragon Tail, Heavy Slam, and probably Stone Edge. Heavy Slam will charge up a little bit faster. Melodic, run Dragon Tail, Surf, and Blizzard for like a Dragon counter. Absolutely, definitely a good choice. Hariyama, counter, use Dynamic Punch and Heavy Slam. Probably be pretty good. Flygon, not really. Because we already have a Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw Pokemon. Walrein would be okay, I guess. Swampert with Hydro Cannon would be okay. So okay, we don't have the actual Community Day yet, so I'm not going to recommend that. I would say coming in 3rd would be Jirachi, but we haven't had it yet. It'd have Doom Desire. So the 3rd one, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What would you choose out of Gen 3 to probably fill the 3rd slot for a very, very good Gen 3 Pokemon? Leave it up to you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. But last, let's go into Gen 4. And this one is also interesting as well, because we don't have all the Gen 4 Pokemon available to us yet. But we do have Giratina. Which one of these is messed up? Is it this one? No. So Giratina, very tanky Pokemon. If we go the moves, it's ridiculous. It has access to, apparently I can't scroll down. Okay, well, that's fine. Has access to Dragon Breath or Shadow Claw. Both those moves absolutely rip. And then Dragon Claw, that rips. Shadow Sneak, that rips. Ancient Power, that rips. So I would go with Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, and Ancient Power. Ancient Power, again, I already told you guys, charges up extremely fast. It has very good coverage of flying types. Dragon Breath is a tried and true move. One of the best quick moves in PvP. Shadow Claw is not that bad either. I think it might charge the same as Dragon Breath. I could be wrong. Could be a little bit faster. Either or, they're both very good moves, make no mistake about it. Shadow Sneak is a good ghost move, but I don't see much use for it in the Master League, that is. In the Ultra League, you could use this Pokemon as well. Same rules apply. Just giving you guys a little hint on that since I didn't mention that in the Ultra League video. But yeah, you could really run this Pokemon any way you want. That definitely deserves to be the #1 spot, I think, in the Master League. So, with that in mind, Giratina, so what other Pokemon do we have access to? There's a few, but you don't want to go Electivire. Weavile, no. We have Articuno, right? Luxray, yeah. Cresselia? I think so, actually. Let's look at it. What are the moves? What are the moves? Give me the moves! Yes, okay, cool. So, yeah, this will work. This will work. You would run Psycho Cut, you know, for very fast energy gain per turn. Aurora Beam for Dragon and Flying counters, or Ground even, because this Pokemon is extremely tanky. We'll look at the stats, you know, just as a refresher in a minute. And then Moonblast. Moonblast is another, like, Fighting Dragon Dark, so that's absolutely beautiful. That does some type coverage there. And then, I mean, come on. This Pokemon is tanky as crap. Like, it's insane. It'll take a lot of hits, even if the Pokemon is doing super effective damage towards you. And it has the moves for coverage. So, Cresselia, haven't used it yet. If you have, let me know in the comments down below. But has to be maxed out in the Master League to be worth a darn. I think it would be definitely a very good Pokemon. I'll have to test it out. Let's see. Miss Magius, no. See, we're getting into the CPs to where these Pokemon are kind of not that useful. Torterra and Polion would probably be good once they get their Community Day moves. Glaceon, would be pretty good depending on the moves it gets. Rampardos, you could say so. I'm just going to go with Togekiss, to be honest with you, because its moves are pretty good too. The stats are very well. It's got some interesting weaknesses, but its moves are pretty good. So let's go ahead and go over that. You want to run Air Slash. There it is. Ancient Power, absolutely. Since you're already doing that flying move, run Dazzling Gleam. Now the thing about Dazzling Gleam is it doesn't charge up as fast as you think it would for a 2-bar charge move, but it's there. You have the option to use it against Dragon types, or let's see, Dark types, Fighting types. So you have that option there. And again, Ancient Power just to do quick, really hard damage with that 70 power. So there you guys have it. There's my choices, I think, that are very good, with some notable mentions thrown in for the Master League. I've won some battles with the Pokemon that I mentioned, so give them a try, mold a team, try it out, let me know how it goes. If I missed any Pokemon that you think work really well, let me know in the comment section down below. Smash that like button, subscribe. I have a new series, I think, coming up. I also want to hear you guys' thoughts on this, of top 5 fire types, ice types, you know, water types for each league. That's going to be a lot of videos. That's going to be a lot of in-depth stuff. So if you guys like that kind of thing, let me know. That's with the boy Fitz. I'm signing off. See you guys in the next Pokemon Go video.